Hi, my name is Alexandra and welcome to Traveler's Tale, your one-way ticket to everything that you should do on your bucket list. I'm talking inspiration, knowledge, or just really funny, hilarious stories that I have from trying to do these bucket list things. This is Moshi. He just wanted to hang out. So yeah, sit back, relax, and don't forget to like and subscribe if you want more content for your bucket list. Let's get started. So, quick pop quiz. What is equally as terrifying and equally exhilarating? That is probably one of the most popular things on someone's bucket list. Yeah, that's right. Skydiving. I think skydiving is probably one of the things that everybody wants to do. I mean, maybe not everybody, but it's so common. And I'm like, what? Why? Like, if you think about how crazy it actually is to skydive. But you know what? It doesn't mean that it is not as cool as it is, because let me tell you, it is completely worth the hype, and I 10 out of 10, 100% recommend going skydiving at least once within your lifetime. So let's talk about what to expect when you go skydiving. Now for me personally, I went to a company called Mile High Skydiving, and it was in my hometown of Colorado. It was really an interesting experience, and I know that it differs depending on what company you do go to. For me, we were kind of in the middle of nowhere. It was outside of Denver. I had just gone snowboarding the previous day, so my body was a little sore. But yes, I actually did it with my best friend the first time, and then I did it another time with my family. And we kind of went in there. I wasn't too nervous, but as we kind of waited our turn, I feel like the nerves kind of went up a little bit more. I ended up getting the photo and video package, which I do recommend doing. We ended up suiting up, getting all the gear on, getting everything on, and then we took a little bus train thing to the hangar. They were videotaping me the whole time. We took a lot of pictures. It was really cool.
I'm gonna go skydiving.
What? What makes you think this is a good idea?
I don't know, it seems fun. Seems like a good idea.
Yeah, just random Friday, just decided to go skydiving?
Gotta be spontaneous.
So, first time?
Yeah, first time.
What's the occasion besides spontaneous?
Just to be adventurous, gotta do it sometime in your life, right?
Alright. So you don't know anything about skydiving?
Not really.
Well, we're gonna take you to 12,500 feet above the ground.
Sounds great.
Strap you to a perfect stranger and throw you out of a perfectly good airplane.
Sounds like a great idea to me.
Anybody at home watching this you want to say hi to?
I guess just my friends back home in England and my family at home. That's it.
Alright, let's go have some fun.
I met my buddy because unless you have a special certification, you actually can't go by yourself, which I don't know if you'd want to unless you were certified, so I was really happy to have a buddy and do it in tandem. I completely forgot the name of my guy. If you're watching this, I'm really sorry. You can comment it below.
How you feeling?
I'm feeling great. I'm not nervous, surprisingly. It's crazy.
That's kind of worrisome, right? So, still think it's a good idea then?
I think it's a great idea.
Yeah?
You know, I'm putting a lot of trust. He's my new best friend.
He was attached to me the entire time. I was really fine up until they started opening the plane door. I don't know why, that was just like a weird thing for me. I was like, I'm just not used to being in a plane and having them open the door. It was just a little weird. So after that, I started watching people just fly out of the plane, which was, again, was just something that I was just really not used to. So that was really weird. And when we got to my turn, you kind of step out over the ledge and you're in front and then your buddy's in back. And I kind of looked over and was like, wow, that's really high. Like, we were really high up from the ground. And we jumped, and I'll kind of talk about what my emotions were a little bit later, but it was just crazy. So I jumped and we had a little bit of free fall, and then I believe one parachute goes up first, kind of just to slow you down. You're kind of just on your stomach, just free falling. We had a videographer right there that was videoing the entire thing. It was great. And then at one point, I think it was like a minute or two, if I remember correctly, then he pulled the parachute, and then at that point you're kind of just paragliding down, and that took, I don't know, roughly like 4 to 5 minutes in order to get down. And at that point I was just so hyped up on adrenaline that yeah, it was just a nice view. And then you get down to the ground and you lift your legs up and you kind of just slide down on the ground on your butt. And it was great. Honestly, it was great. So that's kind of what I would expect very generally.
Welcome back to Earth. Alexandra, what did you think about skydiving?
It was amazing!
Yeah, what was your favorite part?
Jumping out.
Pretty fun, right?
So much fun. I want to do it again.
That's what we like to hear.
Woo!
Well, awesome job. Welcome to Mile High Skydiving. Give this guy a big high five for me.
Yes!
I mean, I'm sure that if you go with a different company or you're in a different location, you're not in the US, you know, obviously it's going to be a little bit different depending on your situation, but generally I feel like that is the actual logistics of it. As far as emotions go, it was definitely it was scary. I'm not gonna lie, I'm not gonna sugarcoat it. It is scary. And if you really think about what you are doing, it becomes even scarier. You know, I mean, you're literally jumping out of a plane strapped to another human being that you met 10 minutes ago. Well, maybe a little bit more than 10 minutes, but yeah, and I think for me, it was kind of a general nerves coming up, and then once I saw the plane door open, once I saw everyone that was hopping out of the plane, then it became very real for me, and it was just like this panic, this terror that I had, but it was a really unique experience because once I jumped, it instantly vanished. Like all the terror just went away. It was just gone. And it was kind of replaced with this almost meditative, peaceful feeling. Like I was not scared at all when I jumped. It was the weirdest feeling. And just that juxtaposition of emotions so quickly is so interesting to feel, which is why I 100% recommend this to everybody that wants to do it or has the appeal to do it, because it's just so interesting to go from this is one of the scariest I have ever been in my life to this is amazing and freeing and just, yeah, almost peaceful. It's just kind of a strange feeling. And then you land and of course then you just get filled with adrenaline and you just cannot believe that you just did that. So yeah, that's kind of how I felt emotionally. It was amazing. I would 100% recommend to just take the leap, even if you're scared, to just go for it and just face your fears and just do it, because just know that once you get out of the plane, once you jump out of the plane, it's over. Like you just relax and you just fall. It's so freeing. I can't really explain it, but it's an amazing experience for sure. So tips and tricks for going skydiving. Don't mind Moshi, he just likes being held like a child. So my first tip that I would give you is to wear comfy clothes. In fact, just pick your comfiest outfit and just wear that. Because if we're being brutally honest here, the last thing that you want to do as you hurl yourself out of a plane is think about how you have a wedgie or you can't move in your clothes. So I would 100% recommend just picking your comfiest clothes so it feels like they're not even there, so it is the last thing on your mind. I think I wore just like a really baggy t-shirt, oversized t-shirt, and I wore some leggings. I mean, it's all gonna go over, under the little jumpsuit you wear. So yeah, just really make sure that you are comfy and can move. And I believe I wore tennis shoes as well. You know, don't want to be doing the whole thing in high heels, unless that's your thing. I don't even know if they allow that, but if that's your thing, then great. Okay, tip number 2, I would get the photo package if you have the budget. And we'll talk about budget a little bit later, but especially if this is something that you have your fears about, if you're facing your fears, if you're nervous about it, or if you're only going to do it once in your life, I would highly recommend getting the photo and video package, because let's be honest, everybody wants photo and video of them jumping out of a plane. That's insane. And I've had so many people watch mine. I've showed so many people. It's a really cool way to be like, oh my gosh, look what I did. This is insane. So cool. So, and the company that I went with, you know, he obviously was doing it with me. So I had my tandem buddy on the back, and then I had another guy in front of me that was filming me the entire time. Which was just really cool, and it made for a really, really cool video. Obviously, as you can see, it is a once-in-a-lifetime video that is kind of insane and unreal. My tip number 3. This one might be a little obvious, but you know, some people need to hear it. Eat something, but don't eat too much. Now, granted, it doesn't, you know, like when you go to the amusement park and you go on those droppy rides and you kind of feel like your stomach is coming up through your mouth. It does not give you that. I'm like, it's kind of weird that it doesn't actually give you that sensation, because I thought it would. I mean, you're obviously free falling, but I don't know if it's something about your position, like how you're on your stomach, with your stomach facing the ground, but I actually didn't feel that feeling at all. So I didn't feel like I was gonna throw up at all. However, I don't think it would be an awesome experience to get up there, get super nervous, you're nauseous, you fly out of the plane, and you can use your imagination. I don't know if it's ever happened, but that's like my biggest fear. New fear unlocked, really. So, but I would also not starve yourself. For me, whenever I don't eat, I get nauseous. Sometimes when I'm nervous, I get nauseous. So I just did like a nice protein bar, some oatmeal, just something just to control your stomach, but not enough. Don't do like a 5-course meal where you're gonna throw it up once you get up there. There you go. And number 4, don't let fear consume you. This is inherently a scary activity, and I am not downgrading it. It is quite scary. But I think our brains as humans have a tendency to overthink a little bit. You know, we're thinking, oh god, the plane's gonna crash, and I've seen all those videos on YouTube where they fall out. There's so many safety things in place that it's very unlikely that those things are going to happen. It's good for you to be prepared for those things if they do happen. But if you choose a really good, reputable company, they're going to keep you safe. So I think a lot of your anxieties and stuff that stem from that, just acknowledge them, you know that they are natural and they are completely normal and actually like a good part of the process, but don't let it get to a point where you're psyching yourself so much that you're like having an anxiety attack or having a panic attack or something, you know, like realize that fear is healthy, but don't let it consume you, if that makes sense. Because I think it would be very easy to go up that plane and, you know, absolutely freak out, and then at that point it's not really fun anymore. So a good dose of fear is healthy and fun, but an unhealthy dose of fear, don't let it do that to you. Okay, so let's talk about price and how much you should budget for this. I'd say that in general in the US it's about $180 to $250. Now this might completely change depending on what country you're in. I know I had the chance to do it in Australia and it was a little bit more expensive, I know. But I would just really do your research on the company and the budget of the company. But I would not skim, for obvious reasons. If some guy in in a truck comes up to you and says, hey, do you want to jump out of my little puddle jumper? What are you doing? Then I would not do that, you know? So it can be tempting to kind of get the best deal or the budget one, but I would encourage you not to do that, because this is your life and this is you putting your life into somebody else's hands. So I would not do that unless you feel comfortable doing that, but I would really research a good reputable company based on where you are, and just really make sure that they, you know, have the credentials, they have the professionals, because you are trusting that person, especially the person who's going to be with you jumping. Another thing to keep in mind that I know sometimes you can upgrade the package. Like I've seen people pay a little bit extra to go a little bit higher. So instead of like 12,000 feet, it's 14,000 feet, etc. So you can pay a little bit extra for that. I also know that sometimes you can pay extra depending on the view that you want. Like if you want a beach or if you want a mountain view, then it's going to be a little bit more expensive depending on the company. Or I've also seen people where they charge more if you want to land on the beach. You know, if you want to come down and with your little parachute and lift up your legs and land on the beach instead of some random field like I did. So really just depending on if this is one thing that you are doing in your life and you're never going to do it again, maybe just save up the extra and really get what you want and the experience that you want. And also, obviously, if you do get that photo and video package, it's going to be a little bit extra. If that's important to you, I would suggest really looking at the company and making sure that they do have those kinds of options, and that how much they are, and if you're willing to pay for those memories, essentially. So yes, that is everything that I can tell you about skydiving. If you want more of an in-depth, I did write a blog post about this on my website, which I will link in the bio, so go check it out. Go read about some things, take some notes if this is something that interests you, or if you've already done this, let me know. Contact me on social media. I would love to see you achieving this dream and conquering this and checking it off your bucket list, because it really is something to be conquered, and I guarantee you, you will love it. So yeah, if you have any other questions, just DM me on socials, email me, go to my website, or just comment on the video below, and I would be happy to answer anything to the best of my ability. Thank you guys so much for watching, and again, like and subscribe if you enjoyed this, and I can cover more, or hopefully all of the bucket list items that are important to people. So yeah, thank you so much, and just keep swimming. Okay, just get off. What do you want right now?